Hi, this is Justin Gifford with Gifford Homes. My wife Shannon and I help people make their real estate dreams come true, either by buying or selling. And we work with a lot of great people, a lot of referral partners that we really trust. And the theme, kind of our motto, is commitment beyond closing. And so a big part of that is having people that we can refer our clients to, that they know they can trust us, and whoever we send them, they can trust them as well. So that's kind of where this started, and we wanted to kind of share that information with potential buyers and sellers, but also spread the word about our amazing vendor partners. Uh, this week we've got Matt Robinson with ProLift Garage Doors, Blue Springs. I know you work all over the city, and you can talk a little bit about that. But yeah, just gonna get the ball rolling. So how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. Just running around getting the daily tasks done.
Yeah, nice. Um, so just kind of basic stuff early. How did you come to own your own ProLift Garage Door franchise?
Um, Before I opened this, the previous 10 years I was in healthcare. And when COVID happened, I started seeing a side of healthcare that I wasn't fond of. And I wanted to do something where I could have more of an impact on people and feel better about what I was doing. So I started looking at franchise options, and I knew I wanted to be in the home service industry because I have a background as an electrician and remodel. Um, so when I found ProLift, the business model is what enticed me to that franchise system, because it allowed me to hire somebody to go out and perform the repairs or the installations, and then allow me to be out networking and searching for more business. And it just, the business model made it much more scalable than if I was in the truck doing the work and trying to scale a business at the same time.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense. I know the answer to this, obviously, or that's why we're here. But can you let people know if they call ProLift Garage Doors, they could give you a call, what kind of communication and service they can expect?
So if somebody finds us on Google, they call our office phone, they'll go straight to the contact center, and the agents on the phone will go through a little bit of what the issues are having or what they're looking to have done, and then they'll get them an appointment scheduled. Once the appointment is scheduled, the technician will see it on his schedule. The customer will get a text message and an email notification that the appointment was booked and what time it was for. When the technician dispatches to the job, they also get a text message, and the technician calls them to let them know they're on their way. They'll be there with this ETA. And then once the work is completed, they receive a survey on how the technician did, and things like that. Typically, being in a service and repair industry, we're a little different than a lot of remodeling companies or painting companies, things like that, that might be months booked out, because they're more project based, where almost all of our jobs can be done within just a few hours. So
Okay.
we pride ourselves in being able to be there first. We know if your garage door has broke, your car's stuck inside, stuck outside, it's a problem. So we try to do the best we can to make sure that we get you back about your day as quick as possible.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, there's a few things you can do without, and a vehicle, if you've got a job that's like that, that's not one of them.
Yeah, we don't live in an area where there's trains or
No.
buses or anything.
Yeah.
You don't have a car, you're not going nowhere.
Right. Yeah. Kansas City doesn't lend itself to that, does it? So what are some of the main services you guys provide?
We do a full service, service and repair, from broken springs to new operators. We'll repair garage door openers if they're within a range that we can still get parts for them. We also do new doors for whether they're damaged or you're just looking to update the curb appeal. a big advantage that we have is the two garage door suppliers that I use are both here locally. One's in Lawrence, Kansas, and the other one is just down in Ripper, right off 210 and 291.
Okay.
So Liberty area. So it makes being able to get the doors a lot quicker. Some of the other vendors for garage doors, they're still 2-3 months out on getting the door from the time we ordered, where typically I can get a door in 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
And we run into a little bit longer lead times if it's something that, like, the customer has a house with a unique paint or something. They want the door to match the house.
Mhm.
That takes a little bit longer if they want it painted from the factory. But we do a good job of working with our referral partners in the painting industry to put in a door and then have the painter come out and paint it. And I like doing that for two reasons. First and foremost, it gets the customer the door installed and completed the job much quicker than if we wait 3 months to even to get the door.
Mhm.
Secondly, it's more versatile to buy a white door and paint it than it is to buy a already custom matched door, because then if you change the house color or whatnot, you're stuck in a pattern of trying to paint an odd colored door, where
Right.
if it's white door, they can easily paint over the top of that.
Yeah.
And typically the paint the quality difference isn't, it's not like if you get the paint from the manufacturer that's going to be much more durable than the paint from a painter. A lot of times the painters are using a better quality paint than the manufacturing plant. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
but yeah, it's really the big thing for us is making the customer happy. If they choose to have a color matched door from the factory, we'll order it and we'll get it in and get it put in for them. If they're a lot of times when we run into this, it's realtors or people selling homes that got an inspection and, hey, we need to do something with this door to help sell the house. And if I have to wait 16 weeks to get a door, that's going to push closing, that's going to push everything else. Where
Yeah.
if I can get a door put in the same week they need it, it doesn't hold a lot of things up most of the time.
Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. And that's touches a little bit on one of the things I know you and I have talked many times about, the different improvements you can make on a house and what the return on that investment is. And people are often shocked that those numbers are considerably lower than they expect. But one of the best ones that you can do is not seriously expensive. It makes a huge impact. Is changing garage doors. Is that correct?
Yeah, there was a study, I think it was like Consumer Reports or something like that did it, but garage doors have like a 95% return of investment. And the where we can really help people out on that is most new houses, the builders are not putting in high quality insulated doors. They're putting in nice looking doors that might have some insulation, but they're not out there putting in the top of the line doors. So like a door that is on a typical spec home that a builder builds, they typically have like a 6.4 R value for their doors, where if you step up to a steel back door or a polyurethane insulated door, that goes from 6.4 to 9.5, and then the polyurethane is 19.5. So what I like to do is when I go out and talking with a customer about a new door purchase, take a look at the garage, see, is it heated? Do they have bedrooms above the garage? Anything that you can do to um, show the value of a better insulated door to a customer helps them understand you're not trying to upsell them and get your ticket higher. You're trying to provide them the best product for their needs.
Yeah.
And we always do 3 different estimates on a new door. We'll have a good, better, and best option. And we go through each one of those, what the insulation values are, what the benefits are. And one of the key benefits a lot of people like more than the insulation factors is if you buy a polyurethane insulated door, yes, it has the 19 R value for insulation, but it also comes with a 10-year warranty on the door and all the hardware on the door. So if you say you use your door 10 times a day and in 3 years your spring breaks, that's going to be covered with the more expensive door. Where if you bought an entry level door, it comes with a 1 year hardware warranty and a 5 year warranty on the door itself. So if you're somebody that uses your door a lot, you're probably going to be buying springs every 2, 3, 4 years.
Right.
Somebody like me who the garage is around the back of the house and your cars don't fit in the garage. I've been here 10 years and never replaced a spring.
Right. Right. Yeah. So it always seems to boil down to that you get what you pay for sort of thing, no matter what the industry is.
Yeah, it does. And sometimes that's the struggle, is because a lot of times in garage doors, when people are needing a new garage door, it's not a want, it's they've backed into it, they've damaged it, it's irreparable. So it's something that people haven't budgeted for. They don't have savings in line for it. So if you have a door option that's say $1,500 up to like 5,000, chances that somebody that just backed into their door is going to buy a top end door is slim. Where if it's somebody who is remodeling their house or trying to get a bunch of updates done to get it more time period, they're more apt to buy a nicer door. So a lot of it is knowing your customers, know what they're looking for before you start pitching them different door models and things. And you also have to be careful with that, because you don't know, a lot of times you don't know what this person's financial situation is. So you never want to go in and assume that, oh, they live in $1 million home, they're buying a high dollar door, or they live in $100,000 home, they're just kicking the tires. It's not always the case. Some of the biggest jobs that we run into are in areas that you'd have no idea that was going to be possible. But when you get into your areas that are a little higher crime or things like that, people are more interested in the security features rather than the niceties or the appearance of things. So in the cities, we do a lot more openers that have cameras or things like that just increase security rather than the functionality of the door itself.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that totally. I can see that distinction being made, like that first and foremost, like safety above all. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
makes. Well, speaking of another version of what you do that's not amazingly safe, tell me about. I'm always excited when you talk about the screen doors that people can have put on their
Yeah.
garages. At the same
So we
time,
have
the garage is still there. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So we have a couple different options for that. The first one is called a lifestyle screen, and it has a set of tracks that mount right below the garage door tracks, and it has a sliding door in there. But you just grab the screen and pull it down just like you would your garage door, and then your garage is fully screened in with a sliding walk-through door. They have some options on there for like a pet barrier to put a strengthened lock on it so the dog just can't push the door open or anything like that. There's also a Mystic screen that is nice. It's a motorized option, and it mounts to the outside of the house, right on the header of the garage door. And then you just press a button and the garage door screen comes down. Press a button, it'll go right back up. We do those in areas that, similar like my house. If your garage is in your basement, you probably don't have much ceiling space there to get a whole nother set of tracks or something in. So we put a Mystic screen on there and it bounces to the outside of the house. And then when you're walking through your garage, you're not hitting your head on the track or the screen or anything. So they're both really good options. It more depends on what measurements and stuff you have in your garage and what look you're looking for. If you want something super easy, you just press a button, you probably want the Mystic screen. if
Yeah.
you don't mind just pulling the door down for 3 seconds, then
Yeah.
that might be a better option.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I remember when you first started talking about those, like, because we've talked about like knowing different people where they'll watch sports games or whatever. Their
Oh
garage is
yeah.
a man cave, so like that's kind of tailor made for that. So, yeah, that's always super cool to hear about. Um, so I know because we kind of refer back and forth to one another. I know you've built your business on referral. Can you tell us why that you think that's the best way to build your business?
I first and foremost is financial. Um, when you're buying leads from Angie's List or any of those lead aggregators, advertising on Google, it's very expensive. And a lot of times the lead quality is not great. Most of those apps and websites, they're they don't know, the customers don't know that every time they click that button, it's getting sent to 5 to 10 different vendors, and every one of them are being billed to get access to their information. So you deal with a lot more competition with that type of lead, and it's much more expensive. Where word of mouth referrals, you've already built that relationship with the person that's referring you. They know you, they know how you're going to take care of the customers, and they've pretty much done most of the selling before you even show up. They're, once they deal with a homeowner and they're like, hey, I see you need a new garage door panel or whatever it may be. I have a guy that does that. He's great, whatever. They're already assuming that you're there to take care of them because the other professional they had out there took care of them, and they're putting their name on you as well. So the word of mouth referral it's irreplaceable, really. If you're not doing networking groups and getting out there, meeting people, doing little seminars or whatever on your services and products that you offer, um, it's going to be a long road to scale your business paying what a lot of these lead aggregators charge you per lead.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, well, so that leads me into my the easier question. What is the best referral you've ever gotten, and how did that come about?
Um, I think it's not my best dollar wise to date, but I think it will be here shortly. Um, and BNI, Randy Welch, connected me with a lady at 210 Home Buyers Warranty. And I got set up with them about 3 months ago. And it was a little slow the first month and a half or so getting work from them. But here, the last few weeks, I've been getting 1 to 2 jobs from them a week. So that'll pay off. And I think that's where your word of mouth referrals really start snowballing, because a lot of those aren't going to be just the one-stop shop. You never see that customer again. They're going to be lifetime customers that are residual income for you or residual revenue. And with your lead aggregators, you're only getting that person for that one time unless they just love the technician that comes out or whatnot. Most people that I run into are just hitting Google and calling the first person there.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. That's yeah. It's like being able to get in front of somebody and be able to do that job well, and then building that trust for a company like that. Like, yeah, that's got to be sort of a huge step in the right direction. Because yeah, like the home warranty company wants to make it pretty easy, and then they just go like, "This is the guy. I don't get any headaches with this guy. Call Matt at ProLift." They don't have to
Yeah.
deal with anything else.
Well, and another thing with that is when you're doing the present, like I try to do one presentation a month with a realty group somewhere on the Missouri side. And part of that is getting in front of the realtors and building a relationship with them. It's not so much I'm trying to push my services or products. I mean, which I am, but until they trust the type of work I'm going to do, the type of person I am, you're not going to get anybody to put their name out there and say, "Oh yeah, go to ProLift. They're great." Oh, have you ever used them? No. So, uh, building relationships and getting out there and teaching people about you and your company, it just snowballs, and you have to get your referral partners to know you, trust you, and be confident in referring you out. And for word of mouth referrals, I handle those much more differently than I handle lead aggregator referrals. If I get a word of mouth referral from BNI, I'm going out and going to do the estimate, or I'm going to go out and show up on the job, make sure that I'm there, make sure they're taken care of, because it's building that relationship. If you go into a customer's house and the technician's only there for 20 minutes to change out the springs and whatnot, and doesn't talk to the homeowner or anything, you've left a lot of opportunity to fix problems they didn't know they had, or prevent problems in the future. So I like my guy to go out and probably spend 30 minutes just talking with the customer about how often they use the garage door, when's the last time that they've had it maintenanced, any weird things that have happened to it or whatnot. Because the more you get people talking and telling you what problems they've seen, the easier it is to then come back and say, okay, well, I know your springs are broken. We can replace those, but your cables, since they had the door crashed and everything was all cockeyed, they're starting to fray out and get weak. You're probably going to have a problem in the future. And by being able to point those problems out to them, whether they choose to fix them at that time or not, it is irrelevant, but it gives them the peace of mind to know that we were there to provide quality work. And if they choose to miss out on something, it's not that my technician was just speeding through the job and didn't see something. And that's why we do the multiple estimates for each job. We give them options on what we think should be repaired, what absolutely has to be repaired, or a lot of times their best option is just a full rebuild, which will replace all of the moving parts on the door and provide a 10-year warranty on all those parts as well. So yeah. Like a typical spring job, if it torsion springs, that's $500-600. Where if you do the rebuild for $899, you get the rollers, you get the cables, the bearings, the end plates, and the 10-year warranty on top of that for another $300. A lot of times people are like, hell, 10 years, the springs are going to break before then. I'll get my $300 back.
Right. That's about as no-brainer as it gets.
Yeah.
Well, so on the opposite side, I always like to ask, what is the sort of craziest or creepiest, oddest call or bid you've ever been on?
I think the most difficult would be like somebody that is a collector, hoarder, however you want to phrase it, and they're having to get out of their house for whatever reason. Oh. Well, then they need to start unloading everything. You open up the garage door, of course, springs, cables, everything's broke, but things are packed from floor to ceiling, and it's just tough to do that. And it's not that it's always like disgusting or anything, just the difficulty, increasing the difficulty level of something that's not very difficult, sometimes can be a pain. And you just have to take it one at a time and realize that, yes, this may be difficult for us, but a lot of times people in those situations, they haven't had anybody out to do anything at their home because they're embarrassed of the home. They're embarrassed to have people in there. So you have to treat them with respect and know that they're going through something that you don't have any comprehension what it is. Just treat them like a normal person, treat them like they deserve to be treated, and do the best job you can for them. And it goes right back to your word of mouth referrals. If you get a house like that, you know, I can send out the college hunt guys and have them help get things cleared out. I can, see things where sheetrock is missing or whatnot, and there's always way to build that out and work referrals for others. But when you take care of somebody that's already on the fence of whether even they want you to come to their home, and you take great care of them, they're going to talk to every one of their neighbors. They're going to talk to every one of their family members about how great you guys were and all that. So sometimes the worst jobs turn out in the long run to pay more dividends than the easiest job you're going to work to.
Yeah. No, I could totally see that, because I mean, the value of being able to do that, and then once you're there and they, like you said, they have a sense of embarrassment, but they're like, this guy was completely nice. Like, I don't have that hesitation. So yes, I'll call that next person and that next person. And then they're able to get some stuff done because suddenly they're not as hesitant to be embarrassed or whatever, because they've had that good experience with you. So yeah, that's got to be huge for sure. So the last thing is just, is there anything you'd like to share about yourself, your business, ProLift Garage Doors, and what you hope for in the future?
Yeah. So when I got my start with ProLift, one of the big things for me with ProLift was their nonprofit side of it. It's called Kids Lift, and we partner with community service leagues or food pantries, programs that are designed to help kids. And when we initially started it, we were looking more for like backpacks and food for kids after school. But what I've found is most of the schools already have a program set up with harvesters, and not that nothing against harvesters or anything, but I wanted to do something more locally where I knew that the kids in our communities were being taken care of before we started sending donations and stuff elsewhere. And that was eye-opening for me, because when I started reaching out to different programs and stuff, it was surprising to me how short on everything they are. I know there's a lot of people that rely on like community service leagues or food pantries and stuff, but almost everyone I talked to was just barely getting by, being able to give what they can. And I think being able to give back is something that we should all try to do, because no matter what situation we're in right now, there's somebody going through something way worse. And just you hope that what you put out in the world comes back to you at some point. And that's, if you live right, things should go right for you. Right. And me personally, I graduated high school, left 2 weeks later for the Navy. I was in the Navy for 4 years and realized that was not going to be a career path for me. And I came home. I started as an electrician. I did that for about 5 years, and then I fell through a ceiling doing some side work, broke both my wrists and elbows, and had to have a surgery. And that once I got healed up, they told me I shouldn't be twisting wire nuts for the rest of my life, or my wrist wouldn't hold up. So I went back to school, was working at Time Warner Cable and AT&T for a few years, and then once I got my associate's degree, I landed a job with a hospice company, and I was with them for 10 years. I ended up getting my bachelor degree in healthcare administration, which does me a lot of good now. And then I worked from operations manager to corporate director of operations, and that was a good educational period for me, because being a being able to learn how to develop budgets, how to develop strategies and things to increase business and all that is a different realm, but same basic ideas.
Yeah.
So that was good. My big thing now is I want to get I want to get this scaled to a point where I can kind of step back a little bit from the day to day process and do more of the things that really give make me feel good. I get it's kind of
Right.
selfish, but
Right.
I like doing the giving things. I like going and doing things to help the community and stuff like that, because like I said, there's always people out there that are struggling and need help, and if we're in a position to do it, it feels good to be able to help somebody else out.
Yeah.
It's the get yeah, giving is something that you're not doing it for the feeling, but the feeling's like the benefit. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Well, and it's a good time of year to have that sentiment anyway. I know you personally. I know that's kind of your motto anyway. That's kind of where you come from, is with the hospice background and everything. So yeah, that's always kind of incredible to hear. But just seeing your background, I was like, well, what a better time of year to be talking about giving and giving back. So well, that's a yeah. I mean, I love that that's your goal, and it's always been your goal ever since we've initially talked. That's kind of what you want to build, and allow yourself the freedom to be able to do that giving back and that sort of thing, and have your business grow with referrals and everything. So this has been hugely eye opening. Some of this stuff I knew, some of it I didn't. So I thank you very much, and hopefully everybody else will find some value in it. And whenever they need to call somebody for a garage door, they can either call me or they can call you directly. So I
Yeah, that'll
appreciate
work
your
great.
time, Matt.
All right, thanks for having me, Justin.